Do 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 do. All right, I'm waiting for the screen to catch up to me, so we'll see what y'all get here, and we'll kind of go from there as that happens. And here we go. Happy Saturday night, if you can call it that one. All right, I am back in front of the infamous golden curtains here, or beige, or whatever color they are. But yes, safely home from our trip up to Indiana to not see my daughter graduate, because of course we couldn't do that. And then we tried to play the live stream on the phone as we were driving home, and that didn't work. But amazingly, there was the commercial in there. If you wanted to buy a DVD of it, you could. So let me see. Paid all that money for college, can't watch my kid walk, can't even watch her on videotape. But if I want to pay more money to the school, guess what? They'll take that. Love it. So, all right. So that was it. But we're home safe and sound, puppies, and everybody. Dogs were happy as hell to get out of the car. You can imagine. Other piece of news: I took the plunge, guys. I actually did it. I canned pork. So I had taken a pork loin, what was it, Thursday morning, I guess it was, and canned a pork loin, got 7 pints out of it. And I'm like, okay, does this look right? So I got a hold of Lisa over at Sutton's Days, and I got a hold of Jess at Keto Homestead with Jess, and sent them pictures, and both of them said I did it right. And the jar seals, so that's good. So probably could have put more pork in the jar, it looks like, because obviously it shrunk. But hey, I'm in there. I finally canned meat. So let's hope I don't give anybody botulism, right? Okay, so those are the fun parts of a Saturday. So the latest on the video that I put up this afternoon when we got home. Thank you all who were emailing me and telling me what was going on, because as we were driving in the car trying to figure all this out, obviously we weren't paying a whole lot of attention to the news. So the latest on the Colonial pipeline, at least this is what's been put out. Supposedly it only infected its business network, not the operations network that controls gas flow. So hopefully that isn't a bad thing. But they're saying it has the potential to spread to the control networks and suppliers. So we're still kind of in limbo land here. So we'll see what happens with all of that. So just keep an eye on gas prices. But if you went out and got gas today, good, because it ain't going down on Monday. Let's put it that way. So all right, that was kind of where we start with that one. So wanted to kind of say hello to everybody here, because I never get a chance to do this. Let's see, Jamie's here, Simple Preparedness. Simple Preparedness saying gas has jumped at a few places here. Mammy KB's in here, Robert Winslow. VQH as per normal is here. Good to see you, my dear. Cynthia McKenna, TJ Squatchy, Faithful Patriot, Scott Denny, Chief Jim is in the house. Val, I guess Val has already gone to bed. David Williams, of course, we have to have our token American living in Mexico down there to show up. So, okay. But good evening, everybody. We've got 450 people in here right now, and we will kind of chug on along. And I wanted to spend as much time as possible tonight asking questions or answering questions. I'm not the one asking them, because it's been a interesting week as per normal. So grab your glass of cranberry wine and sit down, relax, and we'll shoot the shit for an hour. So first sip, I needed that one. Okay. That one came out good. Standard rules apply. Okay. Keep it PG-13. Nothing is off limits to ask questions about. God knows we bounce everywhere. So for all those that are new here, welcome to the family. We do this every Tuesday and Saturday night. It's basically your chance to ask me questions and to ask everybody else in the family questions. I do ask one thing. If you're going to ask me, please put the questions in caps. That way I can see them and I know they're addressed to me. The lowercase stuff, I know that's all y'all chatting amongst yourselves and asking questions and having conversations and whatever, which, hey, is more power to you for doing it. You know, nobody's cornered the market on good ideas as far as I know. So, you know, the whole point of putting this channel together was to share good ideas and information amongst us all. And God knows, like I said, I'm canning pork. I'm learning from you guys, just like you guys are learning from me. So, in regards to the pork, thank you for everybody for forcing me to do it and giving me the courage to get the balls to actually do it. So, all right. Let me here. I'm gonna try something. You guys, everybody hearing me okay? I saw Jacob's 5x5, but I just realized my microphone is sitting over on the table, and it probably work a whole lot better if it was right there. So, all right. So, let's get into it. Again, questions in all caps. I will start from the top and go down. I will get to as many as I can, but I try to work down in order. So, of course, that puts me behind because I can't talk as fast as 572 of you can type. So I will get to the questions. If you haven't seen your question or heard your question answered in, say, 5 or 10 minutes, please ask it again. If I see it a second time and I've already answered it, obviously I'll skip it. But and I just saw up in here, Mama Bear Prepping is up there. I did see your video today. That was kind of cool. So if y'all haven't gone, check out Mama Bear Prepping. Go check out her video today. She did one on some of her favorite prepper channels, and there's some good ones in there. So a lot of the ones I follow, and then a couple of homesteading channels, and I gave her a tip on another one and go from there. So again, sharing information where we can all get it. All right, so let's roll it here, and I'm going to look for some capital letters and see what I can find. Rooster says, good evening, family. Dana Nepsa says, hello from Indiana. And we got and there we go. Shot all the way to the bottom. So scroll back up. Okay. And don't take me all the way to the top. All right, North Shore's in here. I saw Patriot Sandwich Makers in here and Jacob's in here. So glad to see the mods are in. And just in case y'all decided to come in here and troll, these guys have the kiss of death for you. So if you want to be a troll, don't plan on sticking around long because we have a no tolerance policy on this channel. You don't get a warning, you just get the boot. So, and that goes not only for the chats in here, but that also goes for the comments that I read, and those I go through every day, and there's a few of them that get tossed. So we try to keep it clean around here. We do not insult each other, and kind of go from there. And in case you didn't want to know, my channel, my rules, you don't like it, there's the door. How's that for an answer? Okay. Diane S says, wow, you took the dogs. Of course we took the dogs. The dogs go everywhere with us. I mean, not to the grocery store or something, but, it was so funny when we got to the hotel and, they'd 6 hours in the car and they're ready to go for a walk. I mean, obviously we stopped once for them, but my daughter gets there and Daphne, the border collie, absolutely adores my daughter. And when my daughter walked through the door to the hotel room, Daphne just went absolutely. I thought her tail was going to fall off. It was wagging so hard, and she could not. She looked like a puppy. She couldn't get enough of it. So it was kind of fun. So, but yes, we took the dogs. The dogs are our kids. So yes, they go with us. Any chance we get to take them with, they go with. Mama Preps Forces. I've canned porks lots of times. Once. I'll do it again. So nice. Now I can make some room in the freezer. So when we go to the grocery store tomorrow, we will, if it's on sale, get some more. Liz H. Hey, Pinball, how will you plant potatoes when SHTF happens? Just put the regular potatoes in the dark to seed? Okay. If you saw the video that I did, I guess it's probably about a month ago now, on making the root cellar. out of just a couple of steel trash cans buried. Okay. I will keep my potatoes in there and use them. And other ones, like my sweet potatoes that I kept last year, I just put them in a dark closet and they spent all winter in just a dark closet. That was it. No sunlight, no nothing. They were fine. And that's what I'm growing my sweet potato slips out of. I'll do the same with my potatoes. Some of the potatoes that I grow, chances are the biggest ones because A, they'll be the biggest ones, okay, and I want that gene pool. But B, they'll also probably be the ones with the most eyes on them, so I can cut them into more pieces. Uh, I'll just leave them in a cool, dark place all winter, and then next spring do it. I mean, advantage to seed saving, guys, is I don't have to buy seed the following year. Okay, you're using seed potatoes. Well, I'm going to grow some potatoes. I'll keep some for my seed potatoes. And, that way, A, you don't have to buy the seed. So if it's not for sale, you still get it. And as things grow this year, I'll show you different ways that you harvest, if you will, different seeds. But the other thing is by saving your seeds, your plants are now getting acclimated to your growing conditions, okay? Your soil, your climate, whatever would be. And so they will eventually keep the good part, the strong part of the plant, and the weaker stuff, is just going to disappear. You'll end up building stronger plants over time because your plants will acclimate to your conditions in your particular garden. And when you said just put the potatoes in dark to seed, I keep them in the dark, and then, like I said before, I cut them, healed them, and they went straight in. I mean, they had eyes on them, but I didn't. Regular potatoes, you don't need to sprout or anything like that. Just put them in the ground when they've got eyes on them, and poof. And I mean, you all saw the video I put up yesterday morning with my potatoes. I mean, some of them, the purple ones, the ones I got by mistake, are maybe 3 inches high. But some of the Kennebecks are already 1.5 feet high, so I was out there hilling those things already. Okay. Diane S., how long does canned pork and hamburger last? Well, at least 2 days so far. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask for canning questions. I ask you guys, okay? I'm learning on canning and going. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, there's Sutton's Days, Lisa over there, Keto Homestead with Jess. I thought I saw her in here. She might be here. A lot of good questions. Wanda over at Deep South Homestead. Those are some good ones I know to pay attention to for canning questions. Of course, Rudy at Alaska Prepper, he does a lot of it too. So those would be the people I would send you to for canning questions, because that's who I'm going to, because I'm not the guy with the answers for that part. Jamie says, I have not done meat yet. It wasn't difficult, I will say that. And I mean, I'm just, like I said, the only thing I look at is I probably should have put more in there, because I've got, good 1.5 inches underneath the lid there. And I mean, it's not packed, but I was watching some videos, like, don't pack it in too tight. So I just kind of, put it in till I had my headspace. And then of course it shrinks, and poof, now I've got 2/3 of a jar of pork, but it's fine. I still got 2/3 of a jar of pork. Patty Bob is here. Greetings from Germany, and hope you're all keeping well. Yeah, I hope you are too. Europe is getting crazier by the day. So, but we're still all hanging in here as best we can, I guess. Potato Joe doing whatever he can to destroy the country, and you got Angela Merkel. So between the idiot we have and the clueless spawn of Hitler you have, who knows? All right. Let's see. Dee Dee, good evening to you. Big Bear Preps there. Hello. Leah from Nashville, Tennessee. Send us some nice weather, will you? I'm sick of this rain stuff. Jess is here. Hello, Jess. Ace Maduro says, what is tonight's libation? I'm having Royal Crown. That's soda. Okay. Royal Crown is RC Cola. Okay. Crown Royal. Now we're talking Canadian whiskey. That's one of my favorites it is my favorite Canadian. But no, I am drinking cranberry wine, vintage January. Uh, okay, let's see. Uh, Coral Tigger, heard you visited my lovely liberal town this week. Not quite. We went up to Indiana, obviously, because Indiana's in Bloomington. We didn't get that far. We stayed in a little town called Mitchell and the Spring Mill Inn, which is probably about 45 minutes out of Bloomington. Reason being is this: when my daughter was here for Christmas, and obviously we knew she was graduating this semester, we started looking at hotels. So we'd come up for graduation. This was even before they had said that graduation was going to be students only. I kid you not, Days Inn, Motel 6, those type hotels in Bloomington wanted $500 a night this weekend. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $500 a night for Motel 6. I'll sleep in a cardboard box under an overpass before I'm giving them that kind of money for that place. All right. So we found the Spring Mill Inn, which I guess was built in the 1930s, in one of the Indiana state parks down there. And I was reading the history on it when we went over there. And the way they funded the hotel was when the World's Fair was in Chicago, they needed a whole bunch of sand that came from Indiana. And so Illinois was paying Indiana for the sand, and that was how they funded the hotel. And I thought it was pretty cool. So, but that's me trying to find out silly stuff on history. So, the stuff I remember, right? But nope, didn't get to Indianapolis, didn't get to Bloomington. So, and I don't think Mitchell's going to be exactly all that liberal. Amy, hi, fellow ballers. There you go. Okay. Rolling. Eric Gauthier, Semper Fi. Well, you being the Marine, me being the Army, I will say brothers in arms. I'll give you the Semper Fi. I don't earn that. That's for you guys. I wouldn't have cut it as a Marine. Copper coated candy got you on headphones while I mow my yard. Okay, I'm hoping you are far on the West Coast and at 6 o'clock, because it's pitch black out here, and there's no way in the world I'm getting out and mowing here with the headlights on the tractor. Let's see. Diane S is only 44 thumbs up for pinball. I'm only seeing 34, so you're seeing more than I am. Nobody likes me. Just kidding. Okay. Mad Shad is in the house apparently here. A couple of people saying hi. Prepper Mama, can you speak to the crisis on the Texas border and home security? I haven't seen much new on it lately. I mean, the last I saw was probably earlier this week, where Ted Cruz was talking about going down there and trying to take pictures of what was going on. I guess they're running what the facilities are supposed to have 250 people in it, and they've got like 4,000. But hey, they beat up on Trump on that for 4 years. Now we're double what Trump was doing. But who's counting? But I guess the last I saw was on Ted Cruz and trying to take pictures. And of course, all the handlers there saying, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, because they wouldn't let the press in. And so Cruz took pictures anyway. And then after he posted them, miraculously, it was like a day or two later, all of a sudden the press was let in. But now they're talking about how to shut down all these detention centers. And, what are you going to do with these people? Okay. Trump had it right. Let them stay in Mexico. When your number's called, then you can come over here, go straight to court, do not pass go, do not collect $200 or $1,400 or however much Biden wants to give them. But that's about the last I've seen, other than the people on the border getting very worried because crime is going up like crazy on the border. So, yeah, I hope people don't. I hope they do, but I hope they don't have to take matter into their own hands. I cannot imagine how bad life can't be that bad no matter where you are, that you are going to risk your life walking from south to north in Mexico, dealing with the cartels and everything. What does they say? 9 out of 10 women get raped on the way. And then you got to deal with the coyotes and the cartels to get over there, just so they can drop you over a fence and leave you on your own. And then you've got all the people in Texas worried about it. I'm sorry. I mean, you're not coming from the seventh level of hell to get into the United States. I mean, your life could not have been that bad over there to worth rape, molestation, murder, everything like that, and risk your life to make it over here. Just so 99, 98% of them are going to be put on a train, plane, bus, whatever, and sent home anyway. It makes no sense to me what's going on. West Virginia Hills have eyes. Did anyone see Starlink last night going from west to east? I did not. I was having dinner with my daughter, and that was it. And then we sat around and talked, and took pictures. We did get pictures. David Schaffo, hello, Pinball. What is your favorite meal to cook for your wife and her favorite meal to cook for you? Her favorite meals that I cook, she loves my ribs. She loves my enchiladas. She loves my chili. She loves my meatloaf. So my favorite meal to cook for her is whatever she asks me to cook, because if she asks me to cook it, then I know she likes it. Her favorite meal to cook for me, I don't know. I mean, she's in the other room. She can hear this, and I can see she's got a smile on her face. Her favorite meal to cook for me. Breakfast. I'll leave it at that. Okay, I'll keep myself out of trouble, because she never says to me, "I don't want to cook breakfast this morning," but she does say occasionally, "I don't want to cook breakfast or I don't want to cook dinner tonight." So I'll say her favorite meal to cook for me is breakfast. How about that for a cop out? Keeps me out of trouble. Marie Joy, home security. Okay, I've said this quite a few times. Security lights, security cameras, you need to have those. Your weaponry that you have, okay? And it's, again, I can't tell you this is the best one to have. Depends, what works for me living out in the country does not work for somebody, does not work for Angry Prepper living in the city of New York, okay? You live in an apartment, you certainly don't want, double-aught buckshot and a shotgun, so, your weaponry you do need to have, but you also need to be strategic in things like furniture placement. And I've talked about this in security videos, to kind of funnel everybody into a kill zone if they do come through a door, because they're not going to be hopping over couches. If we get to situations like that, you have to know how you're going to funnel anybody that breaks into your house into a spot that you can cover. You don't want to leave it wide open where they can come in from all different directions. So, but I've got videos up on security. If you go back and look at them, that will give you a whole lot more in depth on all of that, because I can go on easy for a half an hour. KKR, thanks for sending me the letters to King. I've been enjoying his videos. Hi to everyone in his live chat today, and hi to everyone else. Yeah, I was late to his live chat today. I got in probably 15 minutes or so before he finished and everything. But, I got home, got unpacked, got the dogs, run around in the yard a little bit. Everybody told me about what was going on with the pipeline deal, and I got all that done. I got on, and I was like, okay, kind of doing. But yeah, it's nice to get Konstantine's perspective from the other side of the world, from Russia. I mean, it's like, how many people, are really concerned about a Russian perspective, somebody that's lived in the United States and lives there. So good to learn a lot, also to offset a lot of what mainstream media tells us, that everybody in Russia wants to kill all the Americans, and there's no truth in the matter of that. So, Treasures in Kentucky, Pinball. I'm about 30 minutes from Lexington, up 75. I was just told by a friend that several gas stations in Lexington are out of gas. People are lining up where there is gas available. Okay, I didn't have to stop in Lex. We stopped in, where did I stop I think we stopped in Lexington on Friday on the way up getting gas, and I didn't have to come back until I was back in Tennessee to get it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what gas prices are tomorrow. Certainly what's going on Monday. Jen Boyles, Pinball. It's been 2 weeks and my beets and carrots aren't up yet. Replant. Depends on the weather. My beets are finally big. My beets went in a month plus ago, and they finally, they were this high for the longest time. Only a few of them came up, and now I've got good 4-inch high beets. Carrots are very, very tough to grow because you have to keep a constant moisture on them. The best trick I've heard, and I have not planted my carrots yet. They're going to go where my spinach was. They were going to go where my radishes are, but my radishes aren't ready. The best trick I've heard for growing carrots, first off, besides the fact, obviously, you need soft soil, is water them after you put the seeds in, and then put a board over them for about a week. That will keep the moisture in, and then you can let them up. But if it's been 2 weeks on your beets, I'd be patient. And your carrots, I'd go again, but I'd put a board over the top of the seeds. Bonnie Young, can Mrs. Pinball share some more recipes? Yeah, we will. I mentioned this last week, and we both apologize for not doing it. It's just this time of year gets so busy with all the planting that we've got to do and everything, trying to get the gardens up and running. We run out of time, and it takes probably about 4 hours to film one of those videos because it's not just chop, chop, cut, throw in pots, do whatever. It's like, okay, we've got to set everything up, make the video. Okay, then we got to change settings and everything like that. Are you popping over? Uh-oh. Surprise.
Just wanted to say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody.
So, yes, she said I didn't leave her in Indiana. So, there we go. Okay. Robert Winslow, is anybody else seeing more than usual chemtrails? It's interesting. I was just talking about Constantine. He did a video on chemtrails he's seeing over Rostov-on-Don, southern Russia right now. So I haven't really been paying attention, but I've been focused on a lot of other stuff for the last couple of days. Diane S., are you worried about the China space debris falling? I don't know what to make of it. Most of the time when these things fall, they fall in the ocean, and it's immaterial. And, people are trying to make a whole big deal out of it. I think it's going to depend on where it hits. I mean, if it hits in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, nobody's going to care. If it winds up landing on, Topeka, Kansas, then we're going to have problems. So, but I mean, I've heard all the conspiracies of, really it's a nuclear warhead that's going to set off an EMP. I'm just like, oh my God, people we've got enough crazy stuff going on in the world right now that's true. Let's not make more stuff up. Okay. If it comes out that's that way, then we'll deal with it when it comes out that way. But, I'm not going to, I can't prepare for a conspiracy theory. Okay. If it's got some legitimacy to it, sure. Okay. But if it's just, crazy idea that, somebody thought of after, a couple of 6-packs of beer. No, that's not what I do. Michelle Keller, what do you know now that you wish you would have learned years ago? Mrs. Pinball. That's what I wish I knew years ago and that I don't know now. We talk about that every once in a while. If we would have actually met when, well, she was in her 20s, I would have been in my 30s, because if I was in my 20s, she'd have been 12, and that wouldn't have gone over too well. But yeah, if there was anything that I wish I knew 20 years earlier, it was Mrs. Pinball. Though I'd have a different kid, but yeah, I'm happy with my daughter, and life is life. I can't change, but that would be my answer. Big Bear Preps. My first time planting kidney, black, and northern beans. Are they on a vine or bush bean? Depends on what variety you got. You know, uh, I mean, there's many varieties of each one. So, look on the package or whatever and see if it's bush or pole bean. Oh, crap. Here we go. All right. I got to find where we were. And didn't let me go all the way back. So if I missed your question, I'm sorry, because I can only go back so far. Robert Winslow says, life isn't that bad to be picked up in a semi-trailer along with 100 other people. I guess we're talking about running up to the border again. I don't want, did you ever, I remember being in cattle cars in basic training. Okay. For all those of you who were ex-military, you know what I'm talking about. Cattle car. Okay. Basically they put you in the back of a semi, and as the old term goes, it was assholes and elbows. That was it, because you were face to the back of the guy's head in front of you, packed in like cattle. I cannot imagine, being in, at least we had air circulation. There were not windows, but vents on the side. These guys are in the back of a semi truck. How many times we see it's like, oh, we found the semi truck and all the people in the back are dead. So yeah, no, not my idea of a good time. Michelle says, I'm coming to your house for dinner. Come on by. Didi potato soup. Yeah, that is definitely on the rotation around here. Carmen says, China rockets crossing New Zealand expected to drop late tonight, early Sunday morning. Let's hope to God it lands in the middle of the ocean somewhere. Let's see. Meat and potatoes. Rooster says, hello, Mrs. P. Kevin R, does Mrs. P have an AK or an SKS? Neither. We're an AR family. Thanks. And I stick to my reason being is I'd rather have the 5.56 than the 7.62 just for weight. I mean, I've got a 308. That's fine, but I'm not humping that thing all over the place, in any sort of combat situation. I want, mobility and stopping power, and an AR is going to give me all I need. Culinary Growers Organic, thank you for the super chat. Border patrols are finding illegals with hospital-type barcode wristbands and coyotes with cloud-based portable readers. Holy crap! I mean, was it inventory your smuggled goods? I mean, your smuggled people. Unbelievable. CNC Bluebird 89. I live close to the Mexico border. It's flipping dangerous right now. I mean, I saw the last numbers was in February. 200,000 people came across. I mean, I know the border. I mean, the border is sparsely populated. You throw 200,000 people over there, it's like, who the hell's having this huge barbecue that everybody's coming to? Because, you could live down there and you're lucky if you see a neighbor once a week because you're all on ranches. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, my nearest neighbor's 6 miles up the road. South Colorado Stutter says, hello, Mrs. P. Glad you have us back. As we say many, many, many times throughout the whole time we've been married, it's like, if we've gotten this far, where do you think we'll be a year from now? And we look back and go, holy crap, look where we came from, a year earlier. So things keep going well. She's got my back. I've got her back. We make a good team. North Shore, everyone say a nice hello to Mrs. Pinball. Okay, and then there's a whole bunch of hellos. Scrolling. Hang on, Honey, you got tons of hellos in here, so you saw them already. Okay. North Shore, be right back. Pinball drank my rum. It's a funky looking colored rum. I did see somebody ask before, did I make the wine? Yes, I did. There's a video probably from 6 months ago where I showed you all how to make wine and also showed you how to make Applejack. So that's all out there if you want to make your own wine. It's a hell of a lot cheaper and actually it's pretty good. Catgirl66, do we keep in touch with any Army buddies? Yes, actually, one of them was my best man at my wedding. And funny thing, guy that I actually roomed with when I was at DLI in California, and then we both got assigned to Fort Bliss and El Paso. We were roommates there as well. He's still in Texas, and last time I had talked to Tony was 1991, maybe 1990 or 1991. And a couple of months ago, out of the sheer blue, there's an email from him. He had found me on LinkedIn and had my email address on there, and his wife was from Tennessee, and they were coming up for a funeral, but they were going to be in Nashville, and obviously I'm 5 hours from Nashville. We were going to try to get together for lunch, but plans didn't work out when, because he was going to drive 2.5 hours. I was going to drive 2.5 hours, and we were going to meet somewhere for lunch, but it didn't work out because they were on a tight schedule with family and funerals and stuff like that. So, but yes, I still keep in touch with a few of them. South Colorado Stetter says, I wish Constantine could say more. I have so many questions for him. That's the hard part. You guys got to remember where he is. And I mean, you think we push a line on YouTube. We're pushing a line with YouTube. He's pushing a line with the government and, towing as close as he can. So, even emailing him sometimes is interesting because he doesn't know who's watching his email. And this is what I keep saying, guys. This is what Biden and company want us to go to. And I go into quite a bit of in depth about it with tomorrow morning's video that I've already done. So I already know what's in it. So, Overwatch, bottled cow farts. If you figure out how to do it, let me know because I want to send a case to AOC. Joy Tilton, I know you talk about silver being so valuable, but wouldn't it be wiser to invest in food? All right, so I'm going to give you this, as I've said to everybody. And again, this is all personal, okay? I mean, I've said many, 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 many times, there is no one-size-fits-all for prepping, okay? It's everybody's own personal way of doing it, and depending on what your circumstances are, everything. My personal thought is I need to have a year's worth of food put away. Reason I want to have a year, that gets me through an entire growing season. Okay, so if I've got a year's worth of food put away, I can eat that while I'm growing everything to replenish what I'm eating. Okay, so that's my theory. A couple of things have changed. We were talking about, with what was going on in Russia, Ukraine, and, nuclear possibilities. Maybe I'm going to add to that. I said maybe now I'm looking at between a year and 2 years. But then you get into a storage issue. It takes a lot of space depending on how many people you have to store a year's worth, let alone 2 years worth of food. I'm just talking about the two of us and 2 dogs, and it takes up a lot of space. I can't imagine how much space you need if, say, you're Keith Brooks and you've got 7 people that you're prepping for. That's 3.5 times the food I've got. Okay. If I had 3.5 times what I've got in our pantry, I'd need another pantry. So my point on silver is you don't start putting money in silver until you have your food taken care of to the best of what your personal plan is. If that's a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it would be, then you start adding a little bit to it. Silver is primarily going to be as a wealth preservation thing if the economy tanks. Okay, it's going to be so you have some net worth after SHTF. Now, silver could also be used as a barter item in SHTF. That's why I'm more of a proponent of silver over gold, because it's a smaller denomination. Silver is what, 27 and change or something spot price here as of Friday. Gold is $1,800 or something per ounce. And yes, I know you can buy tenths of an ounce, but I don't. A little thing like this of gold, you're going to go, I lost it. Crap, I just lost $500. Okay. You wonder how many tenths of an ounce of gold have been lost over the year. Just, oops, I dropped it in the air vent. Great, tear apart my house for it. But yeah, I mean, again, it's personal preference. If you don't have whatever you feel comfortable with in the way of food stored, then yeah, absolutely, you need to be putting more food away. If you do feel that you've got whatever your goal is covered, then start doing something to prepare for even beyond that. The reason I say it is, let's say we're Venezuela. Venezuela is now, 8 years into their catastrophe? Okay, you're not putting 8 years worth of food away. But if you've got some silver, right now, one silver coin will buy a family of 4 down there groceries for a week. Okay, so you gotta look at it from a few different angles. How long? If we have a 3-month SHTF situation, fine. Everybody's got enough food. Nobody cares, even if you don't have a single thing in your garden. Doesn't matter. You got 3 months worth of food. You got 3 years. Okay, now you got to replenish your food. You've got a catastrophe, i.e., the depression, 10 years long. You're going to need. How are you going to come out of it? How are you going to come out on the other end? Okay, so a lot of different ways to think about that one. But yeah, food is priority. Once you've got your food set, then you start looking at other things. I see a bunch of you guys are answering her as well. Good. America First, do they know who messed up the pipeline thing for the gas? I looked, the last I heard, I looked just before we started, they have not determined who the culprit is with the ransomware yet. Let's see. Oh, tons of Mrs. Pinball again. I swear, I think you guys would rather have her on here talking than me sometimes. As a matter of fact, I know you would. Let's see. Do. Ah, that was nice. Patrice Lindsay says, Happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Pinball. Yeah, there you go, Ace Maduro. Let Mrs. P stay on. She's better looking than me. The hell, you could bring, Michael Myers or Jason or something like that. They're better looking than me. Okay, there we go. Tracy Bolin. So if our food goes up 70%, do you think it will ever come back down? Well, I'm gonna use this as an example. Okay. Let's look at gasoline. Okay. Gasoline in the early 70s was 25, 30 cents a gallon. By the late 70s, early 80s, it was $1. Okay. Did we ever go back after the whole Mideast oil crisis ended? Nope. The oil companies figured, hey, they'd get some more profit. Now, then it slowly climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. And people got used to $1 gas, $1.50 gas, $2 gas, $3 gas. And of course, 2008, 2009, we hit that $4 gas. And again, I'm not talking California because you guys are used to $5 gas now. Okay. But we've all got into that comfort range of $2 a gallon of gas. So that's how they'll price it. It's not, once the people get used to paying something, the companies aren't going to bring the price down, because if there's less cost, there's more profit to them. And after all, companies are in business to make money. Okay. So if they've already conditioned you to pay such it, what incentive do they have to not charge that anymore? Now, when they start losing sales, or they have excess inventory, that's when they'll reduce the costs. But what was it? Procter and Gamble, Kraft. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 food makers that came out in the last week and said they're raising prices. I mean, they just came out and said we're raising prices. Now, granted, I understand the cost of stuff has gone up. There's shortages. They've got it. They're going to have to raise prices. There ain't no way they're bringing the prices down. They're just, you're going to get used to paying $4 a gallon of milk. They're going to keep charging $4 a gallon of milk. The only way it's going down is if people stop buying milk, and they go, crap, we got to get more people to buy milk. So, North Shore pinball, such a romantic. And of course, I got that just before everything shot up to the top again. So, or down to the bottom. So let's see. Where are we? And I'm really slow, so we're back all the way to the top. John Lamfair, the phrase was nut to butt. Okay. For us, it was assholes and elbows. That's all the drill sergeant wanted to see. Okay. South Colorado Stetter, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. There you go, Track Rock. Colt 911 will get me to my M1A. There you go. That's it. And my S&P will get me to my AR, or my shotgun, pick one. Let's see. Okay, Robert Winslow says, Funky Cole Medina. Remember that? Yes, I do. What was it? MC Hammer. That was who it was. Yeah. Remember parachute pants in the early 90s? Oh, my God. I had a friend of mine when we were attending bar. Everybody else being jeans, he'd be in those damn parachute pants. Silliest looking thing you can imagine. Short, stocky white guy in parachute pants. Just didn't quite fit. Tommy M, why buy when you can grow it or make it? Ain't that the truth? And I mentioned this a while ago. I actually had one of the guys in town here, I call him my neighbor. He lives half a mile away from me. He's my the one who I told you guys before decided to paint swastikas on his brother's house. So this is my interesting, but he says, comes to the house by one time. He says, what the hell are you planting a garden for? Grow vegetables. He goes, why do that when you can just go to the store to buy them? Okay, dude, you don't have a clue. Moving on to the next one. That just gives you the idea. Sergeant Bo, where did I serve? DLI was language school. Then Fort Huachuca was AIT, and Fort Bliss and a BRO in Com, West Germany were my places to serve. And yes, Com is a city, and BRO stands for Border Residence Office. It basically was relatively close to the Czech border back when the Cold War was still going on, because that was my job as being an interrogator. If any Czechs came across the border, we were to find out what was going on. So that was it. Camperman, have I ever had homemade muscadine wine? No, I have not. Because for the most part, most of my life I've lived up north and can't get muscadines up there. So now that I'm down here, if we ever get that far, I do want to plant grapes and muscadines and stuff like that. And eventually we'll try my hand at squeezing my own, I guess, if you will. Yeah, so right now all it is it's made from bottled juice out of the store. Foot Soldier Patriot, Fort Misery. I still miss it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did basic at Fort Lost in the Woods, Fort Leonard Wood, for all those of you who live in Missouri. Okay, let's see. Simple preparedness. Do I speak Russian? No. I understand a very little bit, because there are some words, Mrs. P teaches me some phrases, and there are a few words, more than a few, but that are the same in Czech as they are in Russian. My Czech is way out of date. I haven't used it for anything in 30 years. It's like anything else. Without practice, you lose it. But there's still stuff that was still drilled in my head. She'll say something every once in a while, and it's like I'll pick up on it. But again, because, and I'll give you a little language lesson here. In Czech, the stress is always on the first syllable of every word. Okay, so you can tell when it's a new word because it's stress down. Not so in Russian. And so I may get the back end of one word and the front end of another, and it doesn't make sense to me. And then you process for a second, and she'll be like, okay, yeah, so a little bit. They're both Slavic languages, so they have some similarities, but even the alphabet's different. So, and I'm not talking about just from Latin alphabet and Cyrillic alphabet, but I mean, there's letters that are in the Czech alphabet that aren't in the Russian alphabet. I mean, pronunciations. So there was a long answer to that question. How about that one? Silver's the best hedge. Rooster says, I got the cows. Anyone want to hold the bottle on the farts? Come on out. There you go. All right. We're going to do the last 10 minutes of cow fart jokes. Diane asks, storing water takes up a lot of my room. I have some cases down in the cellar. Yeah. I mean, I did a video on that a few weeks back. I mean, on how much water you actually go through. It's not possible to store the amount of water you would need for a year. You've got to have an exterior source. I mean, whether it's getting it from a river, a lake, a stream, water catchment systems, whatever, you can't you can't store enough water that you're going to need. And I saw something on the phone here as it popped up real quick. Somebody says, I know 2 Czech words, bohinko and hovno. Hovno shit. So I don't remember. Bohinko doesn't ring a bell to me. So let's see. Coral Tigger, Pinball, Off-Grid Paul just posted, Israel just launched the largest mobilization in history. Oh my God. That's okay. There was a story that came out of Sky News Australia that Australia is thinking about going to war with China. Sky News is a reputable news source. So the world's just getting crazier by the moment. It's like, I just kind of want to hide, but what we do, we prep so we can just hide. Leave me alone. Just give me like, 10 miles of trees in every direction and, poison ivy all through them so nobody will come through. Robert Winslow, silver's a far cry from what it's really worth when the big dogs called the correct ratio, which is 16-1. Right now it's about 80-1. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, then you're talking about, $1.25, $1.50 an ounce for silver. And again, I've talked about this many times, all the paper contracts that are out there, a bank's got an ounce of silver. They sell it 10 times on paper, Now, if everybody started getting a hold of the bank and trying to call in their silver says they want to take possession of it, the banks are going to freak, and that's going to drive the price of silver through the roof. And that is coming. That's what all this silver squeeze stuff that you hear about is. It's, getting the shorts out of it, which is the banks, and taking physical delivery of silver. That's why every time somebody asks, I'm like, do not buy silver contracts, buy physical silver. If it's not in your hand, you don't own it. And the bank just, if you try to call it in, the banks will go, sorry, we ain't got any. What are you going to do? Bank's going, we got lawyers on staff that make more than you're worth. They don't care. Diane S. Have to start rotating my preps. Not used to doing it. Yes, rotating your preps is important. Now, there are going to be some things in your preps that you're not going to rotate as much. Okay. You go out and buy salt. Okay. Who cares? Salt will last forever. Or honey, you don't have to rotate some of those things. But, you go out and buy canned meats, your spams, your corned beef hashes, whatever it is. Yes, you need to have them. But you also have to be careful about eating them because of the sodium content. Okay, so you need to have all that protein, but you're probably not going to eat it enough because, I mean, it ain't the most healthy thing for you because of the sodium and, whatever else is in it. I mean, again, they're for emergencies. And so, yes, while you can rotate a lot of it, there is going to come a time where you're going to have to get rid of some of it. So as long as you keep track of what it is, you know, use it as a donation to a food bank, and A, you're helping somebody else out who may not have something, but B, then you can also turn around and use it as a tax write-off, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if you got $500 worth of food that's 3 months from being expired, go donate it. Let somebody else have it. Use the tax write-off, and then go out and replace it. Rotate as best you can, but I completely understand it's not possible with everything. I've got a couple hundred cans of Spam. There's only so much Spam I can eat. I mean, with everything that's in there, it's just not good for you. So eat some, but some of it you're going to wind up either throwing away or giving away. My two blue poof. What would happen to a mortgage if we see hyperinflation like 1922? Actually, nothing. Debt that you have like that is, as long as you have it on a fixed rate mortgage. I mean, if you had hyperinflation, that's fine. If all of a sudden your company has to pay you $50,000 an hour because that's what, because it costs $30,000 to buy a loaf of bread, fine. You get paycheck, pay off your house, because your house, whatever your note is what your note is. The banks will scream and cry bloody murder, but you've got a contract with them. And I mean, the thing is this: contracts work two ways. This is what a lot of people forget. You're under contract to pay the bank $842.12 or whatever your mortgage is every month. Doesn't matter if inflation goes up, inflation goes down. Doesn't matter if you lose your job. Doesn't matter. They still want their $842.12. Okay. Hey, if all of a sudden now you're making $50,000, an hour because that's what inflation is, it's like a Bolivar. Sorry, bank. We have a contract. I've been holding up my end of the deal. You need to hold up yours. So that, which is the funny part, when you see that banks are actually supporting, Potato here on some of the stuff he's doing. I'm going, all they're doing is cutting their nose off to spite their face. That's why they're playing the opposite side of the market. Gina M, use every available space in your home to store food, even under the bed. Under the bed is a fabulous place to store food. Now, where I will say to be very careful is people will start putting it in dressers or things like that. And you get, canned food is heavy. You all know that. Okay. We've all seen those stories on IKEA, the thing falling over and killing a kid, and they had to put a strap on the back so you bolt it to the wall or whatever. Okay, I don't care. You put a strap on the back and you put a bunch of canned goods in there, you're going to break the strap. It's going to come out or pull the screw out or something, So, don't stack your canned goods anywhere that is not stable. Building shelves is good, that are permanently mounted. That's going to work because they're mounted to something. If they're going to fall, if they too much weight, they're going to collapse down, not like that. But yeah, under the bed is great. Silly places to put them. If you're really tight on space, take the kickboards off under your kitchen counters. You can store stuff underneath your kitchen drawers and kitchen cabinets. There's room under there that you can do it. All right, make sure you clean under there first. But yeah, find any space you can get. Under furniture works great. Like was mentioned there, under the bed, under the couch, wherever it would be. Okay. If it's unsightly, fine. Go get a bed skirt, put a bed skirt around the bottom of it, and you can't see it. David Kissio, can someone survive on freeze-dried meat and vegetables and MREs? Yeah, that's why the military has them. Okay. MREs you can survive on. They're very nutrient dense. So freeze-dried meat, freeze-dried veggies, yeah, I suppose you can. I mean, that's pretty much what an MRE is, dehydrated. But sure, no reason not to. You're just adding water to it to reconstitute it. Catgirl66 is that my special live hat. It's my Saturday night have a glass of wine with you guys live hat or whatever. You know, there's been a couple of times I cracked out the Irish whiskey because I needed it. But yes, this is my Saturday night only hat. Let's see. How-to videos. CNN host Michael Smirkanish says people who don't take the vaccine should be socially ostracized by friends and family. Watch my video in the morning. There's actually 2 of them because it's a little long, but I get into some serious detail on that. Tom WV, are precious metal dealers required to report sales to the government? No, depending on the size of the transaction. Again, they're just like a bank. You know, anything over $10,000, yes. But you know, no, they're not required to. You know, you're going to go buy $200 worth. That nobody cares. Okay. Charlie Knoll, watch the mom and pop stores. Got hamburger today for $1.79 a pound. 1-day sale. Good, yeah, good deal. Sometimes you can find stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I've said it many times, guys. Check out the coupons, you know, online or whatever. Go look at your grocery store flyers. You know, just sign up for them. I mean, there's a couple of grocery chains here besides Walmart that I can go to, and every once in a while they'll have a good sale, and I'll go in there and I'll grab it because it'll be cheaper than what I can get at the outlet. Most of the time, the stuff I get at the outlet's cheaper, but hey, if milk is cheaper at Walmart, I'll stop at Walmart on the way home and get milk. I don't care about stopping at a couple, 3 different stores. It takes me a half an hour to get to town anyway. Another 15 minutes is not going to kill me. So if I've got to go to 3 stores to get better price and save myself $20 on my groceries, it's $20 I got in my pocket. Ben Franklin, a penny saved is a penny earned. All right, we're at 10:01, and I apologize to all those that I didn't get to. North, are you going on this evening? I didn't see. Yeah, Jacob, time flies. Ain't that the truth? Lake Ferry, I'm late. Sorry. No worries. That's what replays are for. North Shore preparedness. Earth to North Shore preparedness. I'll be live in 10. Okay. All right, guys. We will continue the conversation live from Canada in about 10 minutes. But had a great time with y'all tonight. We will see you all in the morning. I warn you, the first video I think is 18 minutes long. So get a big cup of coffee. Have a good one, y'all. Pinball out.